wrong. Ntwe ya hore Hungary e tlo etsa fela in this group ke nkile guy. So far I'm killing it, guys. Yeah, we are. Yeah. So far, honest. What's going on, people? Welcome back to League M for another video. Before the tournament, I had made a video predicting the outcome of the group stages. We're going to see how we did and just how many I got right. Without wasting any time, let's get into it. Group A, 4th, Scotland. Scotland are capable of the spectacular. They can definitely shock us in this tournament. I just think given the other teams that they're grouped with, it's going to be a bit difficult. You know, maybe have a chance against Hungary. You never know. I just don't see it. We'll definitely lose to the host nation. They'll barely hold on against the Swiss and probably lose to Hungary on the final day. So you see, I don't fancy their chances. First point. I think this is actually going to be one of the ones I get like 100% right. I actually managed to predict every single outcome for Scotland, which is crazy. I didn't think, like the fourth place, yeah, that one I was banking on that, but for everything else to happen the way that it did, that's yeah. Okay, so la one it's there somewhere. I have 3rd place, Hungary. Now these guys are relative newcomers to the competition, so we don't really know what to expect from them. They're not regulars in this competition, but they are coming into it in the best form of the whole group. I think given that they are new to the competition, they will look to make an impression. They will want to show out. They didn't, and they didn't. Definitely tipping them to be one of the surprise packages of this comp. I think they're going to grow into these group stages. They didn't. I reckon they'll nick a draw against the Swiss, probably lose to Germany, and beat Scotland on the final match day to be one of the best teams to finish in 3rd place. You know, I'm just going to take this as a point because they finished 3rd. Everything else that I said, wow. There's just no way. What was I on? Surprise packages. I almost got it. It's just I didn't think they'd lose against the Swiss, and the Swiss very quickly made quick work of them. I guess it's to be expected. I'm just gonna take this as a correct prediction. 3rd, correct. Moving on. 2nd, Switzerland. Switzerland, like Hungary, are coming into the competition in good form after having suffered only one loss in qualifying. I'm not looking at these friendlies. I don't know what's going on in these friendlies. Probably one of the more cohesive teams in this group. But that being said, at their current level, I can't really tell them apart from the Scottish and the Hungarians. I think they'll draw against Hungary, beat Scotland, and lose against Germany. 2nd place finish. Simple. Guys, I think from now we should just take where we give the point is with the accurate prediction of where they are going to finish in the group, because these other things are This one is also one of the ones where I almost got it right. I expected them to lose against Germany, but then I guess they had other plans, and they were so good in that game. They could have won that game and table would have looked very different. But good on them for drawing against Germany, making it out. But yeah, this is also a point. So far so good, guys. Let's see. Number 1 is obvious, the host nation, Germany. As much as it's not a glamorous squad like it used to be back in the day, this is still the best team in the group, and I think the fact that they're playing at home will give them a much needed boost as well. They will want to make sure that they get out of this group and they top this group. Definitely beat Scotland comfortably, maybe barely scrape it against the Hungarians, and they will beat the Swiss comfortably. 7 points, no else. Next. Hungary e tlo etsa fela in this group ke nkile guy. We're not going to stick around here. This was the most obvious one. This was the no-brainer. This was the banker. This one was the one that couldn't fail. Finishing number 1 was an obvious outcome because they are the best team in the group, and you know, we've seen it. But there's some things I just don't make sure, because now when they are tested against good opposition, of which the Swiss were good in the final game, you know, we see that things don't really come together, or it could be just that it wasn't coming together in the final third, because in build-up they were amazing in that game, but the Swiss were just firm, I guess. They just stood firm. I'm taking this as a 10 out of 10 or 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4. Yeah, we are. Yeah. So far, honest. Group B, fourth place, Albania. Not much to say here. These brothers are just happy to be here. I really can't see them doing anything in this group. They'll lose all their games. Fourth place, 0 points. Next. Okay, Albania. 1 point. 1 point. It's fine. Go 1 point. At least they had a point, man. At least they had a point. I honestly don't want them to finish on 0 points. But, for the sake of my prediction being correct, I was hoping. But then, yeah, they were like, nobody. I'm leaving with something. We're leaving with something. And they did. They fought, man. Those guys fought. Against Croatia, that was a great game. And they played a great game themselves to, win a point. But, yeah, the other ones were obvious. So, the other ones were just too strong for them. And that's okay. That's really okay. This group was going to be tough. It was going to be tough. Fourth place for Albania. I'll take that as a point. Third place, Croatia. I think this tournament we're going to see a drop in the levels in Croatia. Croatia have been so good in the past few years that we've almost come to expect them now to be good in every tournament that they qualify for in the foreseeable future. But I don't think we're going to see any of that in this tournament. I think they'll obviously rely heavily on their experienced players, the likes of Modric, Brozovic, Perisic, even though they do have some exciting talent coming up. I think they'll lose to Spain. They'll beat Albania, obviously, and they'll lose to Italy. Third place, 3 points. This prediction could have been disastrous. They almost had Italy. And I think if they won that game, they would have qualified. Hey, need to write a letter to Zakanye to thank him. It was one of the ones I wanted to get right because I knew Croatia were not going to be strong in this tournament. I mean, this group, it's a tough group. The top two already, it shows itself already. But then they almost made it out. And that draw against Albania was the one that killed them. I knew they were going to lose against Spain, and they lost comfortably. The draw against Albania is the one that killed them. And we'll never know if maybe they won that game. The story would have been different. But yeah, another one. Yeah, guys, we are on a roll, man. Second, Italia. The Italians, under Luciano Spalletti, they haven't been the team that we've come to know. They haven't been the spaghetti mafia that we've knew over the past couple of years. I'd argue even before that. I don't even think they didn't even qualify for the World Cup, which is crazy. But I think in this tournament they'll do good. They'll see off Albania comfortably, draw against Spain, beat Croatia, second place. Number 1 and number 2 will be decided by technicality. I was right about one thing. These guys are not there yet. They're really not there yet. It's difficult to see them defending their title successfully. The players are there. I think the players are there. They just need to find that balance. But they are missing some players, and the adjustments that they had to do for those missing players are they're not helping. Like, the guys are trying, but hey, they almost had it against Spain. Spain were just, I think they just had more cutting edge. Albania was obvious. Croatia was obvious, but they couldn't. They had to come back, and they actually looked like the better team. But yeah, another one. So far, I'm killing it. Number 1, Spain. I don't know how far the squad will go, but I think they can top this group. They have the right blend of youth and experience, but I think it's the youth that has been doing more of the heavy lifting of late. The likes of Pedri coming back, Lamine Yamal has been good for Spain, and I think we should expect them to show out as well. They won the UEFA Nations League, so that has to come for something, right? I think they will beat Croatia. The match against Italy is obviously going to be tough, so I reckon they will draw there, and they will see off Albania comfortably. First place, 7 points. These guys had no trouble topping this group. There was no technicalities, and there was no draw. All wins, no draws, no L's. Fair. So far, they're definitely looking like the tournament favorites. Mainly because they play the best football and they've been the most convincing. But we'll see as time goes on. Killing it. So far, so good. I have a feeling it's going to make a turn for the worst though. We'll see. To Group C. Fourth, Slovenia. I think they can finish much higher than I'm tipping them to. It's going to be a tussle. Between them and Serbia, I reckon. But I don't see them winning against England and Denmark. Only they'll shock us against England. I don't know. I think they'll play to a draw with Serbia, finish on fourth with 1 point. Okay, the draw against England wasn't much of a shock because England have been woeful in this tournament. They only scored 1 goal all tournament, which is crazy. These guys drew all their games. They finished third to qualify as one of the best third place teams without even winning a single game. That is crazy. Okay, I didn't get anything right here. Maybe just the draw against Serbia, but that doesn't count. It's not going to count as a point because now they finished third instead of fourth. First, wrong mark. This was going to take a turn for the worst. Third, Serbia. These brothers are supposed to be doing better than I'm tipping them to. Surely. I think they have some of the most underrated forwards in the game, with the likes of Dusan Tadic, Filip Kostic, Luka Jovic, Dusan Vlahovic, Aleksandar Mitrovic. They have good individuals. My boy Petrovic is there as well. They have people there. They have soldiers. I think cracking top 2 will be a bit of a stretch. They'll lose to England, draw against Slovenia, and lose to Denmark. Third on 1 point. The England one you could see from afar, but they could have done something that game. That's all I'm gonna say. Wrong. Second place is Denmark. Is the best team in the group. Not the best team, the best team. What I mean by that is not really, they don't have the best individuals, but I think as a collective, they are the best. They are the most cohesive, most underrated spine in world football. I'm not sure how far they'll go beyond the group stage, but I don't think we'll see the heroics that they produced in the previous Euros. They're definitely making it out of this group. I think they will see off Slovenia, lose to England, or draw or whatever, but beat Serbia on the final day to qualify in second place with 6 points. We'll take that. They finished second place. We'll take that. Was there a draw in there? I think I predicted a draw in there. Like Slovenia, they drew all their games. And I guess, Denmark finished second place. We're taking that one. That's a point. We're back on the right side of things. Number 1, you already know. Number 1 is England. It's coming home, FC. Reserve my true thoughts on this team for later on in this tournament. Even the individuals that they have, I think, obviously, when you go pound for pound, individuals, they do have the best in the group. Probably one of the best teams in the whole tournament in terms of individuals when you go pound for pound. They should top this group. I think they have just enough quality. Honestly, be very disappointed if they don't top this group. So I'm just going to say they're going to top the group. 9 points, minimum first, quarterfinals, the final destination. We should have seen this outcome coming. Should have expected that they were not going to fire on all cylinders in the group stages. Like the number 1, we knew. That one is obvious. It's obvious that they were going to make it out somehow. But to say they were going to blitz it, or maybe that was a reach. But we're taking that. They finished first. I'll take that as a point. Fourth, Poland. I simply don't rate this team. This has been one of the most disappointing teams throughout the years, especially in international tournaments. They never produce, especially when you expect them to. They've had a much better squad than they do now. They had Lewandowski in his prime, and he still couldn't carry this team. Actually amazed that they managed to qualify for this tournament. All they've ever done these years is just stink them up. I don't think this one's going to be any different. Fourth place on 0 points. Next. Why did France up and just decide to give this team a point? This team was not supposed to finish on 1 point. This team was not supposed to get a point. Hey, France, what is there to say, guys? And I almost got it as well, like 100%. There, we see there, I was aiming for 100%. But France, because we'll get to France, guys. We will get to France. But for now, we're taking that. We're taking that. And we're back on a roll again. Let's go. Third, Austria. Austria to me are one of those teams that just have nothing about them. Like you cannot think of Austria and think, have this or that about them. They have been steady though under Ralf Rangnick. Steady. I think they have just enough to finish third. I think they'll lose to France, definitely. Beat Poland, obviously, and lose to the Dutch on the final day. I've never been more happy to get a prediction wrong. I was lying. They haven't been just stable. These guys have been really above average, especially in qualifying. These guys, I know Ralf Rangnick has gotten them. Oh, he's gotten them playing such a great brand of football. And they've been so impressive in this tournament that they actually topped this group. And they were easily the best team. Easily the best team in this group. Second place, Netherlands. Now this is supposed to be one of the best teams in the tournament on paper. Over the years, they've been disappointing, especially in recent years. But I think this time they do have what it takes to make it out of this group. I think they will finish second, and where they go from there is honestly in their hands. It's up to them. They'll walk over Poland, lose to France, and just scrape it against Austria. Second place on 6 points. Yeah, we are back there again, where things have taken a turn for the West. I think, the outcome of this group in particular, none of us saw it coming. The Poland win was obvious, the draw against France, and they could have done something that game as well, but they were held. And I think Austria has to be the more disappointing one, because I think they had the lead in that game and Austria just equalized, got the winner, and then that was that. I think now, they're going to be placed under microscope, those guys, because they are not make sure. They cannot be a more obvious number one. France, I mean, come on. What's there to be said? Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out best team in the group, best in the tournament, or top two and not two. Mbappe will run the show. 3 wins, 9 points, no fuss. Couldn't have gone more wrong, guys. After fourth, everything was just France. We've overestimated this team. And to be fair to them, we didn't account for the Mbappe injury. But still, even with that, it's not like these guys only play when Mbappe is there. But even when Mbappe is not there, they still have players who can do something. Or obviously not to influence the game to the degree that Mbappe can. But the midfielders were the best players. None of the attacking players were. And when Mbappe came back, he was the best attacker again. No. France, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens there. Fourth, Romania. They get a single point in this tournament. I'll dedicate a portion of the next video just apologizing to them. But for now, fourth with 0 points. Next, these guys finished number one. Oh, I'm so sorry, Romania. I am so sorry. I was not familiar. Number one. And this is probably one of the lowest ranked teams in this whole tournament. They managed to top a group. That is an amazing achievement. So far, this group is off to a wrong start, and I feel like it's going to be worse. But let's see. Third, Slovakia. Not much I'm going to say here. I'm not giving them a chance against Belgium. They beat them. They can maybe give Ukraine a tough game. They're not winning that one either. At least I got something right. Best chance to get 3 points is against Romania, and I think they've shown the capacity of beating teams who are, on their level in stature. So, third on 3 points. They actually finished third on 4. So we'll take that one. Second, Ukraine. The War Babies made it to the tournament barely. Although to be fair to them, they only finished third in qualifying due to goal difference. They'll definitely beat Romania. They will beat Slovakia. They might hold Belgium on the final day, but I think they're going to lose to Belgium. Second place, 6 points. It's not that they were bad. because they managed to win at least one game in this group. But Romania was the one I thought they would beat, and they lost. They lost very convincingly against Romania, getting a draw against Belgium when they could have won that game as well, because they were, they were on it that game and they were looking to win. It just wasn't happening for them in the final third. Slovakia, yeah, they managed something there. Like, to finish fourth on 4 points is crazy, honestly. Got to feel for them. Good effort though. But for my prediction, number 1, Belgium. As much as this isn't the golden generation of Belgium that we've seen these past years, I don't think they'll navigate this group with much difficulty. Like, beating smaller nations with high scores in qualifying really doesn't mean anything. Just ask England. But they are good. I like some of their players. They do have some exciting talent coming up. Due to them being a young team, they will be eager to impress. They'll be eager to make an impression. They will be hungry. I think they'll beat Slovakia and Romania convincingly. I think they'll have a tough game against Ukraine and just barely scrape that one. But I think they're claiming top spot. Yeah, I think when we saw Slovakia win against Belgium, we should have figured, you know what, maybe these guys are not going to top the group. I honestly gave up on them there and then, because it didn't matter if they had won against Romania. Ukraine, they were actually supposed to win that game, Ukraine. And it's very unfortunate that they didn't. Belgium, not that they were terrible, the chances that they miss in front of goal were their undoing. Like, they were ruining those missed chances. Like, there were so many chances that fell to the likes of Romelu Lukaku, and it was either a missed sitter or an offside. What can you say? Especially to the offsides. I think this guy has the most disallowed goals. Guys, that is crazy. That is crazy in itself. I don't think they're going to make it any farther than the round of 16 though. But we'll see. That group was a disaster. It really was. Fourth, Turkey. Here's another team that I don't rate. I remember there were supposed to be dark horses in the previous Euros, and they didn't even register a single win. They were such a disappointment, and they had such a good crop of talent as well. Only for them to disappoint again. These guys are like Mabenas, true Mabenas. Could have had faith. Could have had more faith. Second with 2 wins. I'll take this L. I'll concede. No, they proved me wrong. So fair play to them. Third, Czechia. Czech Republic have also proved to be able to beat teams that are at least on their level or below them in stature. I think this time it'll be proved to be difficult. Losing to Portugal on the first game day will not do them any favors. We'll try to rectify that by putting up a fight against Georgia. We'll just fall short. I reckon their best shot at 3 points will be against Turkey. That's just how much I don't rate that team, guys. I'll give them a win day to finish third on 3 points. Fourth. It was there. It really was there. I was just trying to, I don't know what I was on. My lack of faith in Turkey has blinded me. But yeah, didn't think they'd win against Portugal. Against Georgia though, I didn't think they'd win that one either. Thought they'd lose, but I guess not. No draw was a fair result for them. Turkey, yeah, it really was the lack of faith in Turkey. Second place, Georgia. Hear me out. I think we're bound to have at least one surprise package in the tournament. At least one. I think as much as they barely qualified for this tourney as well, I still fancy their chances at making it out of this group. And I think they'll shock us in this tournament. Why not? Definitely beat the Turks. And they will beat Czechia. And they will come into the final day full of confidence against Portugal. But Portugal will prove to be too much for them. Second place on 6 points. That would honestly be good for them. I had it when I said they were going to make it out of the group. But now, actually, what was I on? Good on them for qualifying. Maybe second place was a bit of a reach. Because after all, as much as they do have good players and they've shown their ability, especially their front men in Georges Mitakaudze and That final game against Portugal, you could see, even though it wasn't really Portugal's strongest side, they were still good players in that Portugal squad. And these guys just ran the show. So, well, the potential is there, but second place, you know, maybe if they had beaten Czechia, then the story would have been different. But good for them, you know, for beating Portugal to make it out of the group anyways. Third place is fine for them. But for this prediction, yo guys, we've gotten so many wrong. Number 1, Portugal. I have a bone to pick with everybody about Portugal. I see everyone is talking about England purely because these guys play in the Premier League and we know that they're good. France, we've seen France over the past couple of years now. We're talking in terms of individuals. I don't know why there isn't enough noise being made about Portugal and the squad that they have that is stacked with so much talent in each and every position. They can probably go band for band with any team, especially France and England. I don't understand, guys. You balance me there real quick. Are we hating on Portugal? I don't understand. What is it? What is it? These people won every single match in qualifying, although it's not really difficult for them. If you've seen the group, you'll understand that it wouldn't be difficult to win every single game. It's, you know, granted, the teams in that group were not of a high caliber. The teams in this group are just the same. I think they're going to eat them up for lunch. Top of the group with 9 points with minimum fuss. After that final game, I see why. 2 wins to finish first. Could have been 3, maybe, if they played with the first team. But Swan, I really wanted it to be perfect. But no, we'll take the point for the prediction of them finishing the first. And yeah, so I got 13 out of 24 right, which that's a little bit over 50%, which is a pass in my book. But I'm not satisfied. Yo, honestly not satisfied. Some of these I could have done better, man. I could have done better, but I guess I was blinded. I will take that 50%, run with it, and yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I'd like to hear your thoughts on my predictions in the comment sections below, and let's talk about it. Actually, you know, comment down if you made any predictions, how many did you get right, and yeah, all that good stuff. Please, if you're new, do not forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. And as always, keep it M.